There we go. Good point. Okay. So do not print. That's the layer. Bring it to another layer if you want it to print. Otherwise, it's not going to print. If you want to change that, you can double click on do not print, and it will show as show layer and here print layer. So just make sure that's unchecked, print layer. Okay. So the top areas are reserved for each of the topics or films that you're watching. It has to be related to the film you have selected. So you have a film that you're watching, that you're enjoying, you're just taking advantage of, like that your professor is asking you for films. Why not? You relax, you invite some friends, and you have some popcorns, hopefully with butter, and you start print screening stuff from the film. No, so I think the print screen is something that you all know. You're almost either senior or getting to senior, so you know how to do this. You print screen, you get an image, and you're going to be placing a series of print screens on the top section by saying place, and then you're going to select whatever image you want. Let me see if I find some cool images here. This one, for example. You select open, you put one. You can do the same with another one. Place, you put another one. Okay. One thing that's a little tricky about InDesign, and I mentioned in the video tutorial, is obviously that it has incredible tools for alignment, which is very typical of other softwares. But if you want to start scaling and stuff, make sure you have the Control Shift on, and so you can scale proportionally. If you scale only with Control, for example, it deforms the image. So you want to make sure that you say Control Shift, go to a corner, and then start changing the particular scale. No? You can copy things by selecting with the shortcut V, and then you can press also Alt and copy around. So it's actually quite simple to work around. Another helping guide is this little green message that you get on the bottom. Is telling you, hey, it's exactly the same distance from here to here than it is from here to there. Again, many other softwares have that. It also has an alignment.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Are we going to be like taking these photos like through our phone, or should we upload them like from the internet?
You need your laptop for all of these things. So you need to open InDesign in your laptop. You need to download the InDesign file that I'm sharing with you. So that's under modules.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I understand. I'm saying the photos that you're placing in that panel.
Yes.
Those are basically photos that we're getting from the film that we're watching, correct?
Correct. These are print screens of your film. So it's required research, images, collection, narrative text from films of student interest. Basically, you're selecting 3 films. This is about the first one. How many print screens of the film is up to you, but you should be selecting as many as you need to extract information that is valuable from the films. I don't know, 3, 4, 10, whatever. And maybe it's you print screen moments of the film that you find interesting. I don't know, when there's a particular space you like, or a particular effect you like, or a particular event happens in the film. It's up to you. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Each of the print screens should have a text associated. Ideally, you give a title for it. This is a print screen. You can set the time frame, 12 minutes, whatever, if you want. And then this description of it, so you can say, hey, I'm interested in this and that from this part of the film. So just tell us a little bit about what's going on in those print screens in that regards to the narrative text. And in InDesign, again, text, just make sure you use a consistent font style and font size for each of the things, okay? Okay, so on the top, that's the world of images, print screens of each of the films. Hand sketches. The way I would do it is, while I'm watching the film, I will have a notebook. Notebook. I will draw stuff, or I will do it in Illustrator afterwards. Whatever you want to do, 2, 3, 10. That's up to you. What is it that is interesting to you? I don't know. Sketches, hand sketches of ideas that emerge from the films above. If you do them by hand, take a photo or scan them. Ideally, is scan, but with the photos you can get quite decent images, and then again place them here and organize them and write about each of those images. Maybe as a blog underneath the images, or underneath each of the images you have a title and description. Again, this is a bit up to you. How do you want to do this? But you definitely need a set of print screens for the film and a series of sketches that are of your interest to the film. Okay. Effect and texture is a bit more of a go to Google and research stuff related to the effects that you have encountered in the film. Let's imagine you like a particular image or event in the film that's about reflections. I don't know. And then you can just research on reflections and maybe find some images related to mirrors that are, like in a particular position, or and then you can write about the effect of mirroring. So this is a mirror, this is a reflection, blah, 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 this percentage of reflection. It's a bit of a very fast, very, almost like not too rigorous research on what are the effects that you're looking at on the film. Okay.
Can I just clear?
Yeah.
Like just a clarification question. So, some aspect of the, film that we print screened, whatever still we chose, we're like, okay, this aspect of that I really like, and so I want to find that in other images. Or some version of that on other images. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yeah. Have you watched, any of you has any print screens of a film, and can you tell us about it? Or
I do.
Tell us.
I did The Matrix and The Arrival, and then I did one that was like not related, just The Expanse. Because if I'm totally honest, I'm just a nerd for it, and the finale I was like, oh, this is actually like really visually pretty great. And I realized that I could take print screens of it.
So let's say Arrival. There's if I remember well, there's some scenes with the vocabulary, that these aliens have, and this vocabulary is based on a type of kind of a smoke that it's placed in particular circles, almost like a code that is hidden behind it, no? So maybe that's an effect. It's an issue of almost like the smoke effect. Why not? That could be something that you can focus, and then you can research on smoke effects, maybe as simple as that. Matrix, it could be digital, like lettering. It's almost like a Wall Street type of digital screens, maybe of almost like of the 80s, almost in a way, but with movement, so it has a feeling of more sophistication. Then you can research on digital screens. Just bring some images of digital screen, how they work, very simply. I'm not asking for rigorous research. Something that somehow aligns with your films, no? Okay. You could be one particular effect and research a bit more, or you could select 2 or 3 things that you're interested. I'm saying also texture. So I don't know, maybe there's an interest in Arrival, this kind of a tunnel, made like rectangle tunnel that you kind of flip the gravity, and I don't know, there's something of a metal texture. I'm not sure, but I think
I have screenshots of all of these things that you
okay, that's perfect. So I don't know if that makes sense or not for anybody else. So just take advantage of the film, let yourself relax, and just choose a couple of effects or 3 effects, and tell us about it in the research component. What I would do is start Googling definition of this. For example, if it's smoke or something, what is smoke? Of course, going to be an effect resulted from fire, blah, blah, blah. That's, for me, it's good. So what can we do with this smoke? Maybe we can do something later on. Okay. Does that make sense for for people. So again, there's no like a right and wrong. It's a little bit of just engaging with whatever interest that you have in the film and follow that path with a little research on those effects and those textures that you might have found. Okay, and also write down a little bit about it. You can copy and paste some definitions, tell us where those definitions come from, and maybe you want to write why did you research on these issues. Very simply, no big deal. Okay.
Can you give one more example of an effect in a film that we could like talk about, like besides smoke?
Yeah, well, let's say light. Light might come through a particular screen in palpitating patterns. I don't know, like, I'm not sure. You have some films in mind, Inari?
No, not yet. I didn't pick my 3 yet.
Okay, so let's see. Anybody else has other films? Who wants to share 1 or 2 films that they have selected? Any?
I was doing like the hypermedia section, and I started watching Black Mirror.
Okay,
and I don't know if this
Sorry.
like would count, but there was like scenes where they had like technology like on the screen, and then
Okay.
also like they use like a filter throughout the whole episode to make it look like more crisp, and like the saturation was increased.
Okay, that's clearly an effect. You can just research very fast what the hell they did with this effect to make it crisper. Most probably it's a filter that is found in computers, but it's based on some kind of a light, very simple filter. So yeah, another effect is in that sense is screen projection. That's an effect in a way. It's light projected with a projector into a physical surface, and it's dynamic because it's a moving itself. So that's 2 effects right there. It's just I think maybe Nari, once you watch the film, just you're gonna have so many little effects that you can hold on to. Just select 2 or 3 and then research about them very fast. Effects are like light, sound, atmosphere. What creates an atmosphere? It could be humidity, but it could be also virtual, you know, I don't know. There's just the world is effect, what makes a phenomena in this world, no? Nice. Okay, so I would imagine the top section, pretty much from floor down to here, it's a quite condensed set of images and text. Each of the images I recommend it has a little title underneath or above saying what it is, and then a little description of what's going on for each of the sections. Okay, so that's quite rich in terms of images and text. We definitely do not need these guys, so this you can either remove or delete right away, maybe moving them away better so you remember what I'm asking for each section. I'm not saying this section should be this big or that big. I'm just saying that you need those chapters. Okay, could take more or less space. Font size in general, think of titles, big titles as 12, no, 14 maybe, and you can go down minimum to 10, maybe 8 if it's a small little legend or something. But don't go to 20 somethings and crazy things like that. Okay, quite simple and small and cute. Okay, I'm going to stop that recording.